Germany has announced major restrictions on anyone who's not vaccinated against COVID-19, banning them from all but essential shops in an attempt to fend off a fourth wave of the virus. And the Chancellor Angela Merkel says vaccines may become compulsory from February. Here, as it emerged that a booster jab may be needed every year, the government confirmed it's ordered 114 million more doses from Pfizer and Moderna. The deal allows for vaccines to be modified to tackle new variants if necessary. Cases of Omicron have now been confirmed in 24 countries. Another 10 cases were reported in the UK today, taking the total to 42. Here's our medical editor, Fergus Walsh.
Red alert in Germany. Intensive care staff at this Bavarian hospital lit the wards red to warn Germans of the threat from COVID amid its worst wave of infection so far. The government has announced a ban on the unvaccinated entering bars, restaurants and non-essential shops.
This is the situation we are confronted with, and it's also clear what we need to achieve first. Those who've not been vaccinated yet need to do so.
And they could go further, with plans for vaccination to be made mandatory as early as February next year. Germany's wave is being driven by the Delta variant, but Omicron is continuing to spread globally, with cases confirmed in more countries, including India and France. Here, Omicron and any future variants will be combated with yet more boosters, year after year if needed. All these jabs will be so-called mRNA vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna. But the focus right now is getting this round of boosters in arms. The Prime Minister had his at the hospital that saved his life last year.
I'm lucky. Here we go.
St Thomas's in London, where he was admitted to intensive care with COVID.
Whatever Omicron may or may not be able to do, it certainly will not negate the overall value of the boosters. So everybody should get your booster as soon as you're called forward.
Pfizer, like the other vaccine makers, is already working on an Omicron-specific COVID vaccine, which could be ready in 3 months.
Hi, Mr. Buller.
Hello,
welcome.
How are you?
In a rare interview, the boss of Pfizer told me he thought regular boosters would be needed.
If we have to make a guess, based on everything I have seen so far, I would say that likely will be needed annual revaccinations to maintain very robust and very, very high level of protection.
In the United States, 5 to 11-year-olds are now being immunized against COVID.
You want to give Bailey a treat?
Therapy dogs providing a useful distraction. A decision on this age group in the UK may come before Christmas. They'd receive a third of a standard dose. It all means bigger and bigger profits for Pfizer. Revenues from its vaccine will exceed £26 billion this year.
What would you say to those who regard it as immoral to cash in during a pandemic?
I believe that we have saved the global economy trillions of dollars. I think it's a strong incentive for innovation for the next pandemic, that people will see that if they stepped up to the game to bring something that saves lives, that saves money, there is also financial reward.
Meanwhile, the UK has approved a new antibody drug which dramatically cuts the risk of severe illness. Initial tests suggest it will work against Omicron. It's not just vaccines, but treatments which will end this pandemic. Fergus Walsh, BBC News.